What is up, everybody? This is a little rushed. I will be making more, but I had to get this going. I think one of the reasons I am kind of rushing this a little bit, because like my life's like super busy right now, but is that I was in a car wreck in November, and I was like I almost died. Like if I would have been leaning a little bit forward, we hit this elk, and the antler came into the sunroof, and it almost, or the moonroof, and it almost hit, like it would have hit my head, like if I would have been leaning forward a little bit, but I was like going like this or whatever, because I saw the thing from freaking 1,000 feet away for the person who was driving hit it. But anyway, I wanted to talk about, I'm always bashing this thing. I think it's more important to dissect what it is instead of just like, oh, this is fake, oh, this is whatever. This is having an impact on the United States of America. And that's what this video is really about. It's about talking about what is the impact that this has on, because these are not, there's not a few. I Googled, according to Google, there's over 200 million people in the United States say they're Christian. So that means that they follow this book. Catholics follow this book. And then also in the Torah, the Jews follow the old, it's the same God. It's the same. So Christianity is a ripoff of Judaism, and then Catholicism is as well, because it's from the Jews, and then it's from Israel, and it's the Yahweh God. So this is Yahweh God's instruction manual, and it's the same God of the Judaism religion. And what it teaches is kind of what's going on with the leadership in this country. It's pretty much where the leaders in this country don't have to follow the same rules as the rest of us, because they are above us. And everyone complains about it, but no one does anything. And this is kind of my way of, I'm a challenger. So there's this book called The Challenger Sale. I'm reading it for work. And like pretty much what it is about like challenging people to sell them a product. Like you ask them questions and challenge them. So everyone thinks that this is like good, and I'm here to challenge the fact that it's not good actually, and that the Yahweh Jew God is actually not a good God. Okay. And it's not the only one either, okay? And it's a duplicated God. Jesus is a duplicated story. I'm not even going to get into that. I just really want to talk about, since we have an election this year, we have people that are running, we have leaders in this country that do evil stuff, we know about it, and instead of like holding them accountable and saying, listen, you're not qualified for this position, we're putting someone else there, we just allow them to keep doing it. Like, what is that, Gavin Newsom? Remember during the pandemic, which is, guys, let's be honest, like, let's look at the facts here. The guy was like telling everyone to be 6 foot, telling people to distance themselves from each other, telling them to wear masks, and telling them to get that thing, And people were faking getting the thing, but it was right on camera. There's a little spring in there. It wasn't an actual needle. And then he was caught having a party where he had like 20 people over at his house. They were all in there drinking, like eating, hanging out, not 6 foot distance, not wearing masks. But he requires everyone in his state to do it. So that's double standards, just like this guy does, okay? And I know at least like every president in my lifetime, I think even back to Bill Clinton, they all get sworn in on this book. This is the #1 selling book in the U.S., or at least it's like one of the top selling ones. And yeah, so I want to get into it. This chapter really describes what the United States is. So there's I think there's this Christian band POD. There's if you go into churches and ask Christians, there's this other dude. I heard this other like artist, and he's like, Babylon will fall, Babylon will fall. And if you go and ask Christians, like, is Babel good or is Babel bad? They're gonna say, oh, Babylon was evil. No, they were so evil and everything like that. So I think and they say, oh, the United States is Babel. And what Babel is, so here's what I think it is. Here's my opinion. So they'll say it's just evil. So literally, I mean, this is just literally the whole story of this is you're a mistake, and you don't deserve to exist, and he just allows you to exist, and you need to serve him forever, and he might allow you to have some good things. He wants to give you good things. You just got to submit to his authority, right? That's literally the story of this book. And then I'll make more videos on it. Like I said, I got a ton of things. I got a new job. I got to do. Like, I am super busy. It'd be nice to sit here and dissect this and get a conversation going with people. And I want to challenge people. So today we'll just be talking about the Tower of Babel. So it's in Genesis 11. And it says, at one time the whole world spoke a single language and used the same words. So in the United States of America, we have people from Africa, from Europe, from Asia, like all over the country, like, hundreds of languages. But guess what? We all speak English. That's one language. That's a common language amongst all of us. Does that sound familiar? It does, doesn't it? Right, it is. And it says here, they began to talk about construction projects. Come, they said, let's make great piles of burnt brick and collect natural asphalt to use as mortar. Let's build a great city with a tower that reaches the skies, a monument to our greatness. This will bring us together and keep us from scattering all over the world. Does that sound evil to you? Because it doesn't sound evil to me. You know, when you look at like, and if you've suffered through life, you're like, you know how much it sucks to not have food, you know how much it sucks to have enemies, to not feel safe enough to sleep, or like you have to push yourself to walk to get to a place that's safe, or you've had your home burned down, you've been through catastrophe, you've been through sickness and not had like help, and you've been through really tough times. It's nice when you have all your needs met and you got allies and family and you got your food and you're healthy and you got meaningful work to do. That's literally all this is. That's all Babel is. Babel is all the human beings coming together. Instead of this country fighting this country, we're going to say, hey, listen, we're going to set aside our different, and we're going to combine, like, you guys have good farming tactics. We got, like, good stone building projects. If we come together, we can combine, we'll share our ideas and you share. That's literally what Babel is. That's my opinion of Babel. It's all the people, it's human beings of different backgrounds coming together for us to evolve together. And instead of us warring with each other and stealing and raping each other and pillaging each other, we actually come together. And this is why this Yahweh Jew Christian God is evil, because it doesn't want us to come together. It wants drama, it wants contention, it wants war, it wants division so that it can stay in power. And it's not even real. People created the Yahweh Jew Christian God was created by people so that everyone else would have lower standards for leadership, low self-esteem, because you are a mistake. God killed the whole earth because he said he was sad that he created us with the flood. And then there's also a promise. He says he's going to burn us next time because we're a mistake. Then he's going to make a new one. But he already made a mistake twice making us, so he's going to make a third mistake. So obviously it's just going to keep looping over and over again. Instead of him taking responsibility for screwing us up and his creation of us, he's going to just keep killing us and keep torturing us, and then it's just going to be this endless loop. That's literally what this is, and don't let people tell you otherwise. And I'm challenging you right now to go ask Christians these questions that I'm bringing up in this video right now, and I'll tell you what, and the responses that I've gotten is just like anger. I've gotten even threatened before. The dude starts to put his hand on me, like, don't talk about my God that way. They talk, and I'm like, well, I got you. Challenge 1 by Joel. But here, I'll finish reading this. So they're getting ready to build this, city and this tower. This will bring us together and keep us from scattering all over the world. Verse 5, chapter 11 of Genesis. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. Look, he said, if they can accomplish this when they have just begun to take advantage of their common language and political unity, just think of what they will do later. Nothing will be impossible for them. Now, remember that movie Ants? When the grasshoppers are talking and the two are like saying, like, he throws like the bean at one of them, and he throws a bean at the other one, and then he opens up the whole like container of beans and it just like kills those grasshoppers. And then the leader grasshopper says, if they all come together, they will be able to destroy. If all the ants come together, you watching this video and me, we're ants. If all the ants come together, we will not be able to stop them. We have to keep them in low self-esteem. We have to keep them in low self-visual of themselves. That's literally what the Yahweh Jew Christian God just said. The Catholic God, the Jew God, and the Christian God. I cannot stress that enough. These are like the most popular religions in our country, guys. And this is the leader of that religion. Come, let's go down and give them different languages. Then they won't be able to understand each other. And that way the Lord scattered them all over the earth, and that ended the building of the city. That is why the city is called Babel, because that is where the Lord confused people by giving them many languages, thus scattering them across the earth. So everyone was united politically. And what do we have going on in 2024 that's so aggravating and so annoying? I have to watch all these moronic old people running their mouths and everything, sitting up there. They don't live the same life that we have to live. They don't have to pay the bills. They don't have to go to the crappy health care, the crappy roads and the crappy economics that we have to deal with. And up there running their mouths, Republicans and Democrats. I call them cants because they just can't seem to get it done. And then whose fault is it every time it doesn't get done? It's your fault and it's my fault because we drive cars and we we heat up the atmosphere. We're the ones eating the bad food. We're the ones eating cows. We're the bad. We're the racist. What they're always up there calling us racist, and we never stand up and say, you're not going to call us racist. We don't throw our shit at the president up there and say, you're not going to call us racist. We're like the least racist country to ever exist in the history of the earth. And you're gonna call us. You're gonna call us like we're the ones who get along. And I'll make videos on that too, and like literally talking about how awesome American people are to each other. And yet all we ever have to hear is have our balls busted all the time by these people, just like this thing does, just like the Yahweh Jew Christian God does, always busting our balls all the time, dude. Always breaking us down, always judging us, always wanting war, always asking. And there's wars all over in this Old Testament. And he's always having them go kill these people and have them kill the women and the children and just take the land all the time, right? So this is a God of war. And whenever you try and talk about these topics with Christians, instead of them having a discussion, it always goes into drama. It always goes into personal attacks. They always like dodge questions and dodge. So this is something where I guess what my intention is for this video is to start bringing awareness to this, and for people to start standing up for themselves, right? For people to start standing up and saying, listen, we deserve better. That's my thing. And honestly, guys, I'll just go ahead and say it right now. If there's a way, I'm looking for a way how I can put myself on the ballot, because I'd run as an independent. I'd be like, I'm tired of these Republicans and these old Democrats and these old Republicans up there getting up there, and they suck and they're stupid and they're obviously puppets and they're obviously just causing more contention amongst us. We have to come together. We have to actually do it, and this is a pathway to do it. And it's really, and I think it starts with here. It starts with the religion. We got to say, like, what do we actually think about human beings on planet Earth? What do we actually think about each other? Like, what do we think about ourselves? And do we actually deserve better? And when it comes to Christians, man, like, let's say, for example, like if I was running for president and I was having to try to win, votes, I would say, listen, I was a Christian for 30 years, and I'll make a video about that. And I used to be in it. I know what it feels like to be that. And, that's your thing. And, but I want to ask you, like, do you want to see us, like, I know you're just waiting for your God to come back and kill everybody again because we all, like, deserve death and everything. But could I ask you, like, maybe in the meantime, like, would you actually be okay with things being a little bit better? Like, us having better food, us having better health care, us having, like lower cost of living, more opportunities to make money, not be overworked and underpaid anymore, and have health care. So there's actually technologies and there's health cares that are being held back because people make money. I'm just stating an obvious fact, guys. There's certain things that are being held back because these problems, if they are solved, other people won't make money off these unsolvable problems, or problems that they're working on solving. There are problems in this country that certain powerful people are keeping unsolved because they make money off them. And if we had a president who actually cared about this country, I would find a way to make sure that these problems get solved and we can live longer, happier, healthier lives and have a good life. Like, my intention for myself and for everyone in this country would be like for us to like live happier and live healthier, longer lives. Now, the intention of this Yahweh Jew God is for everyone to come to the gold magic city and worship it forever, right? So all the Christians would go up there and sing Chris Tomlin worship songs for all eternity. That sounds like hell to me, honestly. It sounded like hell to me when I was a little kid, and it sounds like hell to me now. And I would like to see, I think we don't know where we come from. We don't know what we are. We don't know how long we've been here. There's a lot of mysteries on this earth, and we're not going to find anything out if we're constantly divided, if we're constantly believing fairy tales instead of finding out actual facts. And there's actually other scientific evidence that's been finding, like where we found ruins of humans being in places that we didn't know, and longer than we've thought existed, right? We were actually been here longer than we think. So anyway, that's my reason for this. I think this is keeping us divided. I think this is keeping us limited, and that's my challenge. So it's not that whether the Yahweh Jew God is is real or not. It's that the thing is evil, right? And you see this in this conflict that's going on. Listen, I don't even really care. These people have been fighting over there in the Middle East for thousands of years. I honestly don't care, and I don't care that you care that I don't care. Does that make sense? Like, I don't really care what you think if I don't care, because I got enough problems every day. I'm jam packed with issues right now. We are too. I don't have time to worry about some people. Like, I don't know like what's going on. I haven't lived over there. It's not my. It's, we got enough problems on our own home front. But when you see how evil the Christian God is, the Jew God is, you're kind of like, you know what? I'm not really surprised these people don't have a resolution that doesn't include like killing and stuff. I'm not surprised that kids are getting their heads blown off by Israeli snipers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not surprised, because this thing has told the Israelites to kill people. And honestly, if you want to talk about racism, the Christian Jew God is the most racist thing to ever exist, because it says that the Jewish people are above, are God's chosen people. Now how arrogant do you have to be to say, and listen, see, no one can say anything against these people because of the whole Nazi thing and the whole, like, so it's like, oh, you can't say anything again. It's so aggravating. It's like, you can't take any criticism or whatever. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. So my thing is, like, listen, I'm not justifying what happened back then. Like, that's horrible. Like, I would never do that. I think Hitler's evil. The Nazis were bad. Like, I even have German heritage. I'm like, I have no association with that. I'm like, I would never do that. That's horrible. That's evil. But at the same time, it's like, doesn't give you a right to just get away with, like, what I'm saying, like, not be challenged. And when I say, listen, like, you think there's an uncreated, all-powerful deity that exists, and he chose you, and you're special, and you're above everybody else. Like, that's the most arrogant thing ever. And I just like to check somebody on that and say, listen, we're just human beings on a planet. Like, we don't know how we got here. And we don't know our history, and we don't know if all these gods, I think they're all fake, and I think they're all fairy tales, so people can do things and say, oh, I think it's all brainwashing, in my opinion, and that's what happened to me. But anyway, I'm gonna stop it right there, guys. If anyone wants to have conversations about this stuff, that's what I'm here to do. One of the things I see a lot of people do, and I've done it myself, is like, I just want whatever fits my truth, right? I just want things to always just fit. I'll only look at evidence or data that fits my perspective. And what I'm here to do is actually find the truth. And I feel like this is the truth, honestly. When I got away from what everybody was telling me, and I went on a trip and I said, I want to know the truth, this is the truth that I saw. And I feel like people are persecuted, and I have been persecuted for saying this kind of stuff. And I'm just kind of curious to see, what happens, if we bring up these kinds of topics. But anyway, until the next video, I'm out.